Hello and welcome. You're tuned into Revision Hub with Jazzy J. I'll be continuing to look at AQA methods, and it comes in paper 1 and paper 2 for AS, and A level paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. So you need to be really, really good at this topic particular because it comes on 3 papers. Last video, we looked at questionnaires, evaluation of them, the positives, negatives. We also tried to link it to paper 1 education. Before we continue on paper flashcards, quickly jot down what you remember from my previous video. You will only know this if you revised, rested, tested, and repeated yourself in the content in that video. Supposedly, if you've forgotten that video, please feel free to go back to the playlist named Research Methods, where you can easily find questionnaires, positive, negatives video. So last time we looked at questionnaires, and I just wanted to add a bit more to that. So I wanted to tell you that there are various other sociologists and examples that you can use when you're doing the topic of questionnaires. Okay, you can use ONS, which is official statistics. BSA is British Sociological Agency, which also they also collect sociological statistics as well, and you can go on their website and there'll be masses and masses of statistics on various different things. So it's good to go on the website, find some statistics maybe about divorce or something of that sort, so you can embed that within any sort of answer that you write. Hillets, as we looked at, remember Hillets, Guffman, Alkinson, Sarah and Hannah, Young and Woman. So we looked at all of these sociologists, Alkinson, Hillett, Guffman, Sarah and Hannah, Young and Woman. We looked at all of them in my previous videos, so go back and just have a look and know these sociologists inside out. Let's begin to look at structured interviews. Some people like questions to be read out, so structured interviews is really, really good. Especially people suppose who do not know the language, it'll be much, much more easier for them to do structured interviews. They can just instantly just hear some words, pick out, and just get the answer from the box, right? And also linking this to schools, will they actually give permission to do structured interviews? Because A, it's time consuming, and B, if a student talks about something negative about the school, and the information that is collected by the researcher is not confidential, then will the school's reputation be at stake? So these are questions that they ask, and most of the time they do not give consent to actually allow structured interviews within a school environment. Pilot testing, again, Young and Woman, we looked at in questionnaires too. So hopefully you remember pilot testing. For you, those who do not remember pilot testing, so basically you test before you actually do the actual interview, so you can have a look at badly worded and hard to understand. So that structured interviews need pilot testing, and Young and Woman did, again, over 100 or even more pilot tests. So pilot tests is a very good way. It's a positive thing because you can get more sort of valid data, reliable data. However, again, it can be quite time consuming. Physical and psychological harm, again, structured interviews. If you ask a question where a person is not very comfortable to answer, it may cause physical, psychological harm. Or if you're doing it into a school environment, then a particular child is taken off class from their whole class, and then that child may feel as though they are targeted in a particular way or form. The structured interviews are very good because you can test the aim and hypothesis. It's good because there's a lot of anonymity within this, so you can say what you need to do and tick the boxes, and you won't be judged in any way or form, so there's no labels attached. It's low time and cost because it's quick, easy, fast, quickly fit it in. Again, confidentiality. Graham talks about patriarchy that exists within research, so does Oakley. For example, if a man was there, he was doing asking you the questions on a structured interview, and you were a female. The female may feel some sort of patriarchy within that sort of relationship that they have, and as a result, the evidence that they receive will not be very reliable, will not be very valid, because there are factors like patriarchy that really dominate this sort of interview. Young and Woman also found that 100 people withdrew consent. So this was a very good positive, because then we can use it and say that, you know what, if people don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. As we've seen in Young and Woman's research, that 100 people withdrew consent from Young and Woman's research. Let's look at it, unstructured interviews. Unstructured is like, do you like white chocolate? Give a reasoning why. It's not framed like structured interviews, like, for example, do you like white chocolate? Yes or no. Okay, so it's really good in that way because it increases validity, and then the attitudes, behavior, and reasoning why. Schools will it give permission actually? So it's not very easy to get permission. Again, if you're looking at subcultures, will the school gates keep? So you all need to link these sociologists that I've looked at in my previous videos. They were taken out of class, as I mentioned earlier. Will they feel targeted? Confidentiality, high time and cost, because it takes a lot of time to do this research. Sometimes when we talk about unstructured interviews, we may have our conversations in between. As a result, we may go off topic. As a result, we're not really answering a question, so a lot of time is wasted. And again, will the funding bodies be willing to actually fund all of this project? Also, I forgot to add on that people need good social skills for this particular unstructured interview method. Gatekeeping theory is against, I mentioned that subcultures, physical, psychological harm, they may feel targeted in a particular way, why someone's having such a deep conversation, especially in a school environment. Pilot testing, again, we looked at that. Hoyle looks at police, and Hoyle wanted to find domestic abuse and incidents. And as we know, domestic violence and abuse incidents are not well recorded within any sort of. We don't have it. Let me reframe this. So Hoyle found that he did research on police and domestic incident and abuse, and not many people report domestic incidents, and not all of them are actually recorded. So Hoyle did a research, unstructured interview on the police, and when he did such form of research, he got a large amount of data which he was able to analyze about domestic violence and abuse and all the cases that existed. Sorry about that mix match. And Maggie Curie found that unstructured interviews lack reliability because it's very hard to quantify, because sometimes you may say something and then you may forget that point while you're writing it down. That's quite common when you're doing an unstructured interview. Davey again said it's a really good method because you can find out more, link to Hoyle, further support each other. Grounded theory is another theory which simply states that you can find out more within unstructured interviews. So it's good to use these theories within your research. And obviously, there's something known as going native, that we might get so involved within the research method that we feel a sense of empathy. So our view becomes a sense of biased. So we take their side when in reality we're not meant to. We get so involved within the research. So this is a problem with unstructured interviews because it gets so personal. Group interviews, again, people are more likely to speak up, especially if you're looking at subcultures. And school, will they give permission to a subculture? Well, no. Will they? No, because a reputation, again, they'll gatekeep. Even if you've got permission, then they'll probably gatekeep the student to maintain the school's reputation. Pilot testing, again, very long process. Physical, psychological harm, targeted, because they're all targeted at once. Taken out of class, again, looks at that. Confidentiality, if that's allowed, then the school will have it. You may go off topic, again, as I mentioned in my previous slide. Gatekeeping theory, just mentioned. High time and cost, because it takes a lot of time to get more information, especially the information that you need, because you first need to build a rapport with the group before they can actually let you in within their life. Bolton, Ferry, and Smith, there we go. Bolton, Ferry, and Smith find that group interviews are really good methods because find out more. Further supported by Davey, who argues the same. And they did there was a research done on Julian gangs, and that was also a group interview. So it's good to give examples when you're doing a central research method topic question. So what we've learned, hopefully you've learned about different types of interviews. Next video I'll be looking at observations. Till then, revise, rest, test, and repeat yourself the content in this video and all the previous videos. And do not forget to love Canva, because I made these slides off Canva and downloaded them into Google Slides. Like, subscribe to my channel. There'll be something popping about hair, I think. So please subscribe to my channel. I want to have subscribes because I want to know if you guys are actually liking the content that I produce. If you have a comment, thank you so much for the comments that people have posted in the comment section. I highly appreciate them, and I'll continue working and producing such level of content. Thank you so much for that. That made my day. And please press the bell icon to never miss my video. And again, I'm on Instagram, so please feel free to go back to my Instagram channel. I was thinking to do some live videos and question and answer sessions and stuff like that. I can only do that if I get like a sufficient amount of people. So far I've only got 2 followers, which is slightly disappointing. So please follow my channel on Instagram as well as on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time, and keep tuned to Revision Hub with Jazzy J.